Dean mentioned him as a Wildcat, possibility also. And I wonder, is he in the return game as well? I mean,
Absolutely. Here's my deal: get one of the best players in space the ball, and that's what Javon is really good at. I mean, he gets you in space. You're gonna have a tough time the first guy making that play because he has that type of ability. I'd like to say I had a drill for that, but I don't. He was born with that. And just being honest, in space, he can make things happen. And on kickoff return, punt return, reverses, we're going to find ways to get Javon to read the football as long as he can handle the mental side of it. And then again, we can't put him out there just for those type of plays. He's got a big guy that can block as well, like we talked about. His problem is he's always matched up on a middle linebacker that usually weighs 30 more pounds than him. But he's got to get into the position to give himself a chance. If you run up on a guy that big and you're not low, he's going to run over you. And that's something he hasn't figured out yet. He's been run over 3 times. If I get hit by a bus, I know not to step out there next time. I'm just going to wait for the next one. So, but Javon is such a competitor. He's going to go out there and give it his best. So.
You talk about return game. What have you seen out of the guys? Because punt return has been one of the things that's been a focus.
It's been awful, and I've been in charge of it. So we need to improve that. Somebody else will be here talking to. So I'll be spraying fruit at Walmart. So I'm going to try to get that fixed. But being a punt returner, it's not something really that you teach. You can teach fundamentals and all these things, but you got to have a knack for that. You got to be able to find the ball off a guy's foot, get lined up, and then the most important thing is to catch it. What you do after the catch is something that we can set up a wall, or we can set up a middle return, or we can set up a revert. But iron that football when 11 guys are coming after you, it's a tough job. It's a tough job. And Q took a lot of heat from last year. Some of it was his decision making, but like the fumble against Alabama, that wasn't all Q. There were some guys that were supposed to be blocking. So, and then again, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. And so I put the kid in some bad situations, and we're going to get better. I returned punts in college, and I know what it feels like to be back there. And it's real easy to sit out there and critique it until you get back there and have to do it. So, I had Des Bryant. He averaged 17.9 yards of return, and I was coaching him, was a genius. And I get here, I guess I got dumb overnight. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is going to keep working until we get better. And we've got some guys that we feel good about back there. I'll let Coach Chiswick go over that with you guys, but we got some guys that we really feel good about.
Anything particular you're looking for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm looking to see who's going to step up in a couple of spots, and we've got more competition than I've ever had, and that's a good thing. And we're in a unique position that we have so many freshmen that are competing for jobs, and in some cases those guys might have the potential to start in our first game. They might not. They might not start at all, but maybe they start game 4. One year, I started 2 true freshmen in one line, and neither of them started game 1, but one I think started game 4, and the other one started game 5. So sometimes they may not be ready when the year begins, but they might 2 months from now.
There's a lot of talk, obviously, about Reese and Christian and Greg. Are they at a different level than most freshmen?
I think so. I think in terms of their effort and toughness, those 3 guys do stand out, and they may not always do it right. They often don't, but I know those guys are going to try to play hard and play physical and go to the whistle, and I can coach that. I can get them straight on what to do and how to do it. It might take a little while, but I think all 3 of those guys have a chance to potentially help us this year and be phenomenal players before they're done.
Chancellor was a guy that obviously made an impression last year, was pretty close to kind of getting in there. What have you seen out of him from year 1 to year 2?
Number 1, more mental toughness, and that's what I told him in the offseason. He's a really talented kid, and when he first came here, he was just a big, happy baby, and just, he needed his butt kicked a bunch, both from guys on the field and from me. And he's been getting plenty of it from me because I want to see how much he can handle. And he's gone from being a guy that had a hard time handling that to a guy that right now I can just completely scald him. And he just looks right at me and says, "Yes, sir," and goes back out there and does the next play. And it doesn't affect him. So I'm seeing that mental toughness that I needed to see from him in order to think that he could even have a chance to play here this year. Now on top of that, he's really talented. He's done a great job losing weight. He's down to 305. You know, he was 335 a few months ago, and he's moving better. And I'm really pleased with what he's done so far.